Hello, my name is James Oriel and welcome to the SQL Database Beginners YouTube channel. Today we're going to learn how to create a job application database, and one of the very first thing I need to consider when I'm developing a database is to know what is the purpose of our job database application. Why are we creating this database in the first place? And some of the reasons could be to keep track of the job application records, to keep job applicant interview details, and also maybe an important thing to consider will be job applicants can make multiple applications, so we need to be able to ensure that we can keep this record linked properly to each of these job applicants. So what do we need to design our job application database? It is very easy for us to say we want to develop a data, but we need to actually know what we want to develop and what type of data we're going to collect from the job application. How do we know how many job application a job applicant has made over a course of trying to work for a particular company? And for example, we can also think about how do we know the status of each of the job application. Is a particular job application already in the interview stage, or is rejected, or a job offer has already been made? We need to be able to know all these things. And also, how do we manage the access to this information? Which user privileges would have access to this information? So what I've done here is I've basically looked at the system and I think, okay, we may need some of this data, right? And so, for example, we look at the application form details. In a typical job application, we want to know the type of job or the position the applicant has applied for. We want to know, for example, maybe their contact details. We want to know maybe even if they have their they have their DBS check, or this is like a criminal record check. They want to confirm those details. We want to know things about their employment history. We want to have details about maybe if they have any supporting statement to add to their application, or or their training details if they have another training apart from their educational details. All this information is very vital, and I've categorized these data that we're going to collect into these 5 categories. The application or the user status, this status will help us to keep track of the status of the application form, at which stage an application is received, is processing, is rejected, or is accepted, is an interview stage, and a job application, a job offer has been made to the job applicant. Also, we want to be able to keep track of the user login properly so that we don't store all this information into one giant table. So, and we want to also maybe keep track of their interview stage, what the interviewer asked, what the interviewee said, what type of question was asked, what type of answer was given. We want to keep all this information into in our database so that we can query and look at this information at a later time to really say, oh, have we make the right decision to hire the right candidate or not? And I always like to design a database in a way that is well organized in terms of having some default data. I don't usually like saving things like countries or cities into user stable, because those information will not really change often. So it's always better to have a default data tables. So in the next tutorial, what we're going to look at is how we're going to take all this information, all these data model entities that we've identified here today. We're going to look at how we can translate this into a data model, and we're going to be using in our next tutorial Microsoft Visio to design our AR model or our data model. And once we have that, we will now be able to translate that AR model into a database management system or a relational database management system such as MySQL Workbench or PhpMyAdmin if we work in the web environment, or SQL Server if we work in a Windows environment. But for this purpose of the tutorial, we're going to take it step by step, and in the next tutorial our focus will be to develop our AR model. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.